told me more than once to show you my intention. My brain gets blocked at times, but now somehow I'll give you my attention. You've got to know that I ain't a person who understands all the clockwork of our romance. You make me feel so alive, always there in my mind. But I just don't know if I'll dance with the lights on. If you're gonna be moving on solo, wait a second, cause they're playing the best song.
Exactly the words of Jamie Dine, who said, I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Beautifully crafted. Hello once again, my name is Omobola Stephen and welcome to Life World with Omobola Stephen. I'm a life and relationship upline and also I'm a transformational coach, and my passion is to always inspire people that I meet in my life, help them walk through life unburdened by any worry, regret or guilt, and lead them to the path of destiny fulfillment. So I'm asking you this moment, why not hold my hands together and let's walk this path together? You're not going to regret it.
I'll be there if you reach out to me. Reach out to me. Reach out to me. I'm a rolling stone tonight, never to be settled. Though I know I can't deny your eyes. This inner battle, I don't know how to act. I ain't a person who understands the commitments of a romance.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Welcome to Life Well Lived from Omobola Stephen. My name is Omobola Stephen. I met Tarnya on a collaboration platform, really. And so one thing that stood out is the resilient spirit and a strong positive mindset. So someday I want to be like her. Tarnya Coley is the author of the bestseller Open Doors. She's also a personal development coach and also a speaker. Now, I've been looking forward to having a discuss about rejection, self-esteem, and other negative emotions that we all deal with at one point or another in our lives. And so on today's show, I will be discussing about these negative emotions, and Tarnya Coley will be doing justice to the topic. Welcome with me, Tarnya Coley.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be on your show. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much once again for coming around. And so, Tarnya, can you briefly introduce yourself to my listeners?
Okay, yeah, I'm Tarnya. I'm all the way from Manchester, England, and it is 4:20 here in the afternoon. I am super excited to be here. I am a personal development coach and the author of a few books, and my goal plan is coming out at the end of this year. And I'm also a lesbian certified speaker, married with 2 teenage children. So I have my hands full.
Wow, great. That's great. So can you just tell me about what you do, what you're doing presently?
Okay, how long have we got? Because what am I not doing presently? My goodness. So I've just finished putting together my goal planner, which is coming out at the end of the year. So it's helping people to get structured, set some goals, take action, manage yourself. Yes. Thank you. Yes, it's brilliant. And it's holding yourself accountable with what you need to do. Because my first book came out in 2018 and it took me 6 weeks to write my first book.
Wow.
And that was because I set some goals and I took action and I held myself accountable and I had a coach.
That's the key word. You set some goals and you held yourself accountable. That's the key word.
Yes.
And we need to take action also, because faith without work is dead.
That is correct. Absolutely correct. So it's important to set yourself some goals, because we all have goals, but do we write them down? Are we taking productive action steps to get to where we need to get to? Because sometimes we like to figure it out, but we don't figure it out because that's not faith, is it? We walk by faith and not by sight. So that's really important to know and understand that. So also, I've just finished the Les Brown program. That was a 7-week coaching program. Thank you. And I had the awesome privilege of being one of the 20 speakers to speak on his platform, sharing my story. And I shared about planting seeds of I am and I can. Those positive affirmations, which are so important to master your mindset.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then I'm coaching. So I'm quite a busy bee because I like to keep busy. It keeps me out of trouble. So those are the things I am doing currently. Yes.
That's right. Oh, I love that you have a lot in your plate, but that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
Really, why do people really suffer from low self-esteem, rejection? So I just want you to just, share a bit about your story.
Yeah, that's an interesting story, because when people see me now, they would never think that, I suffered with low self-esteem, I had lack of confidence, I had rejection issues, and that was coming from a child. When I was about 11, 12, I was introduced to my dad, and that didn't have a happy ending. And he wasn't in my life and still isn't in my life. And that brought on about the rejection. Why doesn't he want to know? Why doesn't he want to be in my life? And then I had to go on this journey. And that was a journey of healing, because I looked at myself, why me? Why has it happened to me? And all those negative things that we can say to ourselves. But then I had to go on this journey of healing and accepting me, who I am, my self-worth, and knowing who I am, and going on that journey. And then through that journey, I found, believing in me, having the confidence in myself, and then moving forward, which is really important.
That is it, moving forward. You're really motivating. I love your spirit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you talk a bit about your book, Open Doors? I'd like to know about it.
Wow, Open Doors. For years, I don't know if you've been in this place where you've put things off, procrastination. And I put writing off my book for many, many years. And I was encouraged. Why don't you write your book? And that's going to help and encourage others that are going through maybe rejection, the low self-esteem, the lack of confidence. Because what I write about is how you can overcome those things. And that's why it's called Open Doors, because we've got to walk through the doors to be able to know what's out there, what the opportunities are. Or are we just standing at the door, just waiting for what I don't know. But my journey, my story starts with my mom. When she had me, when she was 16, she was pregnant, she was told to leave home, and her boyfriend left her. And that's how the story begins with Open Doors. So her start wasn't very good. But despite that, she was the first person in her family to graduate university and become a social worker.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not about how you start. It's about where we're going to finish. And my mom is a classic example of having a vision, being determined and persevering. And it wasn't easy. And there's a process that we have to go through. And it's not easy. And I want to encourage people that are listening on this call. It's not easy. When you have a vision, when you have a purpose, it's not easy to get to where you need to get to, because there's a process. No test, no testimony. So you've got to go through a process. That is the key. Because if you can't go through anything, how are you going to then encourage others? And that's how my story begins. And then it talks about me and my pain points, but then it's about how I overcame them and what I did in order to be the person that I am today. And that's what my journey that's what my book talks about.
Wow. This is getting interesting. Like, I'm just trying to sink it in, like, that's a process. And so when there's no test, there's no testimony. So we need to walk through that process. It's getting interesting to me because I've almost walked through that part. Also, I realized, I'm beginning to realize recently that you also need to walk the path. You need to be patient through the trials.
Yes.
In order for you to come out stronger and better, to be able to have a better testimony, and to have the right delivery to people, because people want to hear from you. But if you're not ready, or if you don't have something to offer, then what's the essence? So you need to be patient enough to be able to go through those steps. Brilliant. Once again.
Yes.
When I was growing up, really, I suffered from low self-worth and self-acceptance, really, because I had a lot of issues with this mindset of a thing. I grew up under a dysfunctional family setting, and my parents, were separated for a long time. And so those periods of my life when I needed love, acceptance, and care, wasn't forthcoming from my parents. So it really affected, the totality of who I am as a person, affecting my relationships and my decision making. And I want you to talk about this self-worth and self-acceptance, because I realize that so many people out there are struggling with it. And because of that, they are unable to make the right decisions in life.
Yeah, you made a good point there about making the right decisions. Oftentimes we can make our decisions based on fear and not what we really want. Someone once said your value doesn't decrease based on somebody's inability to see your worth.
That's right.
And that's so important. It's knowing who you are, because when you know who you are, you will then realize what you are capable of doing. You will realize that you are unstoppable. You will realize that you can do all things because it's inside of you. Anything that you need to do, it's inside of you. And that is what we need to know and understand. And it also helps you to trust your own judgment in what it is that you need to do. And it also builds your confidence. And that is so important. And if anyone listening on this call is suffering with low self-esteem and have lack of confidence, you can Google Napoleon Hill's his formula, his self-confidence formula. And it's Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
Self-confidence formula.
Okay.
And you can print it out. You can stick it on your mirror each morning and each night. You can speak that and look into the mirror, because that's going to be probably one of the most intelligent conversations that you're going to have with yourself.
Absolutely.
Because research suggests that 97% of our self-talk is negative.
That's
so
right.
We've got to start having these intelligent conversations with ourselves. Once we know who we are, my goodness, all sorts of things can take place when we know who we are. And that's really important.
Don't you think mindset comes into play here? Because most of us, we have a fixed mindset. Also, our parents or those who tutelage us while we're young, they've conditioned our mindset. And so we have been, conditioned to some certain behaviors, and our perceptive to life or perception to life, to relationships, is not really what it ought to be. So I think the mindset also comes to play. Or what do you think?
Oh, I 100% agree with that. I think it all starts with your mind. Like you said, we have years, for me, 44 years of conditioning, of programming that needs to be reprogrammed. Mike Williams said, with the right mindset and the right skill set, all sorts of things can happen when you bring your best stuff to the fore. And that's important. So your mind, you have to work on your mind. And how do we do that? It's critical that we work on our mindsets. So I always say to people, tell that negative committee in your mind to shut up and sit down. And then it's what are you listening to? What are you listening? Are you listening to, the news all the time? And it's like CNN, constant negative news. Are you listening to that? Turn it off and listen to some positive podcasts like the one that we're on today. Listen to it because it can feed your mind. What are you reading? Think and Grow Rich is an amazing book to read. Feed your mind. And it's about doing it constantly every single day. It's a continuative process. We have to do this all the time. And then it's how are we spending our time? Who do we have around us? Your environment is important. These things are so key to your mindset because there's some things that you need to let go of or you'll be dragged.
That's right.
So it's about who do you have around you? What support network do you have? Who can you reach out to? And these are the things that are important for your mindset because we're in a pandemic. Over 50 million people have lost their jobs. There's hopelessness. There's suicide on the increase. And there's going to be more job losses. Lots of things taking place. However, this is not the time to allow a setback to make you sit back. You've got to make a comeback. So how are we going to do that? We're going to make sure that our mindsets are in the right frame of mind. Work on your mind every single day. What are you reading? What are you watching? When you get up in the morning, you're just rolling around and can't bother to get up. Get up and do something. Work on your goals. Work on your dreams. Carve out your own future and just make it happen.
That's right. That's right. Because we only have this present moment. Tomorrow is not guaranteed us, and the past has become the past. And so this present moment that we have, Andy, we need to maximize it. Absolutely.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So this is the time now because I don't think we'll ever get this time again. We've had 6 months off. What have you done in that time? Utilize your time. I was talking to a friend today about productive activities and non-productive activities. What are you doing? You know, when you go on Facebook and just going to post something, and then before you know it, you're laughing because you know.
No, you're saying the truth. You're saying the truth. And really, I'm not really that keen about on Facebook, really.
Yeah.
I'm just getting to be familiar with it lately. I don't really do Facebook.
Yeah. Well, you can find yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then you realize the things that you're supposed to do, you haven't done because you've spent your time on non-productive activities. So what I say to people is the night before, you need to schedule what you're going to do the next day. So that way, you're going to do the important things that you need to do. So when you wake up, you've got an agenda. You have a task to do. And it's not about filling your whole day with things, because that's just being busy and not really being productive.
That's right. You get it.
So even if it's a couple of things, I just done a Udemy course. And it's taken me a very long time because of all the different technologies and the things weren't adaptable and things weren't working. But I didn't give up on it. I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to change the plan. I'm not going to change the goal, but I'm going to change the plan. And I sat there yesterday and I said to myself, I am not moving from this desk until I press that button where it says submit. And you know what? I didn't move and I did it. I pressed submit and I could have given up. But I knew what the outcome was going to be. And this Udemy course is all about goals and achieving your goals. And I knew this outcome is going to help people. This course is going to help others. So if I give up on this, I'm giving up on people. So I ensured that I sat there and did what I needed to do. And I encourage people on this call to continue doing your productive activities. What is it that you need to do in this time? And that's the most important thing. What is it that you need to do? Write it down. Write down the action steps that you need to take in order for you to get where you need to get to, and then get support and help. And that's important because people are there ready, waiting and willing to help you get to where you need to get to.
That's right. That's right. So, I understand also that you are a personal development coach. So how can one develop oneself?
Wow, that's a very, very good question. And I think it's a very great question because right now in this time where we do have a little bit more time, I know things are changing, but if you are worth it, like you've been talking about self-worth and you value yourself, it's really important to work on yourself. And how do we do? Because we're worth the investment. So it's about establishing a morning routine. That's the first thing I always say to my clients. Establish a morning routine. Since the lockdown, my routine has been the same. For the last 6 months, my whole household, we have a routine. We get up at the same time. I get up about a couple of hours before the children. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I get up. And then positive affirmations. I am more than a conqueror. I can do this. And these build your confidence. And then what are you grateful for? 10 things that you're grateful for. And what are you grateful for? And it's about speaking those things out, because that will then distract you from your focus on focusing on the negative, but now we're focusing on positive things, because we can be concerned about what is going on and what's taking place, but don't be consumed by what is going on.
That's right.
So establish your routine. Getting up in the morning. I always get dressed, put my earrings on, put my dress on, and I put my lip gloss on. I'm not going anywhere, but it makes me feel good. And it makes me feel better. I get up at my desk. I make sure that I listen to a positive podcast. I read. I do my affirmations. I do what I'm grateful for. And then I have my schedule of the day, what I need to do, and I just get on with it. And that's reading. Develop yourself in reading. What are you reading? We've been encouraged by Les Brown to read 30 pages a day of something positive. So reading a personal development book or reading something spiritual. So it's making sure that you have this balance. So that's really important. So there's lots of books out there. And one I recommend, you can read Les Brown, You've Got to Be Hungry. That is such a great book to look at your goals, your visions and your dreams and chasing after them. And then there's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And there's lots of great books that you can be reading on personal development. And instead of flicking through Netflix, you can flick through a book instead.
Now you're understanding the reason why I said someday I want to be like you. Definitely.
And then it's, what are you listening to? Like we said about before, what are you listening to? Making sure that you're listening to positive podcasts. That's important because you're feeding yourself, your mind, and that's the key. And there's lots of positive podcasts out there to listen to. And then there's a OQP, only quality people. And I got that from Les Brown. Only quality people that you're surrounding yourself with, that's going to lift you higher, as opposed to people that drag you down because they don't believe in your goals, they don't believe in your dreams. There's jealousy. There's people that like vacuums, suck the life out of you. Because
you talk to me, please.
Because you don't want to be dragged down. And because you have goals, you have visions, you have dreams, but some people don't believe in your visions and dreams.
That's right. And besides, time is not on your side.
Right. Like you said, tomorrow is not promised. Anything can take place. So it's about the now sense of urgency. Do it now. Do it. Do not take it to the grave with you. Do it now. And then having that support, which is so important. Getting a coach. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You need a coach to help you support you and guide you and pull those things out of you. You know, when you get those aha moments and those light bulb moments, that's what a coach does. And they help you to get from A to B, wherever it is that you want to do. They help you get unstuck and live your purpose. And what's also important, it's not just about me. It's about helping others.
Others. That's right. Others concerned.
Yes. Who can I help? Who can I reach out to? Yes, we go through things, but we're not focusing on what we're going. We're focusing on where we're going. So let us help others. Who can I reach out to? Who can I pick up the phone to? Who can I send this text to? Do some random acts of kindness. I haven't seen my mom since February this year. And it's about, I just send her some random flowers. Send her a random text. I'm an only child, so, you know.
Oh, you kidding me?
Yes. So it's about doing those things, helping others. It's so important because Bob Proctor says your real purpose in life is to develop yourself. To successfully do this, you must always be working towards a goal. Because if you're not, I question, what are you doing if you're not working towards something?
That's it. Thank you, Tarnya. It's been lovely to Omobola Stephen. I've been having an open discussion with Tarnya Coley. Now, Tarnya Coley is the author of the bestseller Open Doors. She's also a personal development coach and a speaker. Thank you, Tarnya, for your exposure. Now, about your book, how can we get your book?
So my book is available on Amazon. You can Google Open Doors or The Simple Way to Get Motivated. It's available there. If you want a personalized signed copy, you can go on my website, which is ibelieveIcan.co.uk, and you can order it there, and I can send you a personalized copy.
Right. Wow. Thank you so much, Tarnya Coley. Thank you so much. I'm super, motivated and inspired by your journey.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thank you once again. Thank you once again for coming to this show. I hope we can do this some other time.
Definitely.
Yes, I wish you all the best, in your future endeavors.
And you too. Great vision that you have, and keep on inspiring.
Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why don't we say that it's too late for us now? Why do we stay when I blame you for the things that weigh me down? 'Cause in the echo of your silence, I only hear what's best for me. Yeah, in the echo of your silence, I'm thinking more of her. She who wants to study your body, who gets the better version of you. I need the
Thank you once again for joining me on this show. Let's do this some other time. You know what? I need you to stay safe always. Ciao and all my love.
better truth.